Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today's topic, all about fear. I think I want to talk about it from this angle. Why your fear is not keeping you safe. All right? Give that a ponder for a minute. I'm sure some of you folks will be able to guess where I'm going with this. Relax your body. Breathe. Did any of you folks check out the breathe meditation that I posted a couple of days ago in the description? If so, search for, or if not, go to YouTube, search Pain Free You Breathe, and you'll find it. It's me doing the breathe in the calm, exhale the chaos. And I do about 8 minutes of different phrases. But get into a relaxed body, calm, hand on your heart. Whew. All right. So the topic, why your fear is not keeping you safe. All right. And I'm speaking of that in the context of, of the mind-body syndrome, TMS, perceived danger, pain, or symptoms, right? In this context, that's where I'm saying fear does not keep you safe. Now, if your fear of walking through the worst neighborhood in a major city keeps you out of that worst neighborhood in the city, yeah, in that case, your fear is keeping you safe. So I think it's important to keep it in the framework of this mind-body stuff. All right. So in the context of perceived danger, pain, we all know, if you've been following me for any length of time, that when the brain perceives danger, it sounds an alarm. Okay? And many people struggle with the acceptance of that concept in general. For some reason, it's really hard for them to accept that their brain is creating symptoms. And many people will vacillate between, yeah, I think it's a mind-body thing, but what about my body? Or what if I'm sick? What if the doctors missed something? But what about my MRI? What about my lab test? What about? Fear, fear, fear. Oh no, what if? Okay. And if that sounds like you, I'm not in any way judging or shaming or mocking. I think it's an extremely common situation. And I know that because I talk to probably 100 people a week through my group coaching, and I see it all the time. So it's perfectly understandable. It's perfectly justified. A lot of us have been through a lot of various health issues in our lives, and it's caused our brain to do an exceptionally good job of trying to keep us safe. And all of those, what if they miss something? Oh no, what if this? What if that? Oh no, what if? All of those thoughts is your brain doing its job to try to keep us safe. Those thoughts are just a symptom coming from a brain perceiving danger. Now, why does that not keep you safe? Well, because those thoughts can oftentimes keep enough perceived danger going that your symptoms won't go away. So they're actually counterproductive. Even though the brain is well-meaning and trying to keep you safe and is just spinning on the anxiety and the worry and the thoughts and, oh no, those thoughts could be the very thing which are keeping the brain in that perception of danger, which can be keeping the brain, keeping the symptoms going. So those looping, all-consuming thoughts and fears and worries are not keeping you any safer. What they are doing is they're keeping you from living. They're in some cases keeping you from recovering and teaching your brain that you're actually okay. So, as you know, I don't tell you to stop your negative thinking, right? Impossible. I don't tell you to fix your negative thinking. I've just spoken about that in the past couple of days. But what I do suggest is that you don't have to give those thoughts any significance. And I think it was just yesterday where I said choosing versus fixing your thoughts. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is if you've got this constant loop of, oh no, what if, and I don't know, Dan makes sense, but what if I'm different and there's something really wrong with me and my symptoms feel this and they're too real and Symptoms are real. They're just coming from a false alarm, a brain perceiving danger incorrectly. So if you're caught in that all-consuming loop, what I'm going to suggest that you do is choose a different strategy, because ruminating on all the things you're worried that might happen or might be wrong with you, or what if this, what if that, is not a successful strategy. If it was, you'd be better already, right? Those thoughts are not keeping you safe. The reason why, they keep the brain perceiving danger. So I'm going to suggest to you that when you notice yourself looping, being on that fear merry-go-round, step off. And this is where you get to choose how you are going to move forward, right? Choose to reassure yourself. Choose to remind yourself of all the knowledge you've got, whether it be from my videos, other mind-body professionals, other books you've read, my book, whatever. Remind yourself, oh, I've done my homework. I understand how this stuff works. The brain's creating it, therefore my body's okay. Therefore, it's reversible. Therefore, I can teach my brain that I'm okay, safe, and I can get out of this. So instead of being all consumed in the fear thoughts, choose instead to reassure yourself with the accurate knowledge of a mind-body condition like perceived danger, pain, or symptoms. Choose that. And you do have the ability to choose. Yeah, those thoughts are going to come back, but that's when you go, we're not going there again. Been there, done that. That's not the solution. I know I can get better. I'm accepting this. I am making a firm decision to accept that this is nothing more than a false alarm. Smoke, mirrors, the brain's perceiving danger, the alarm's going, but there's no fire in the kitchen. So choose to focus on the solution, because that rumination fear, that's not anywhere near the solution. It doesn't keep you safe. Choose to focus on the solution. Teach yourself that you're okay mentally. Don't buy into those fear thoughts. Emotionally, if you're feeling emotions, feel them. Don't judge them. Feel them so they can pass. If you're feeling those emotions again an hour later, you may be, not always, you may be ruminating on the story behind it. But in either case, feel the emotions so they can pass. Generally, it doesn't take longer than a couple of minutes for emotions to dissipate and settle down, as long as you're not ruminating on the story or judging yourself and shaming and blaming yourself for having the emotion in the first place. So we teach safety mentally, not buying into the thoughts. Emotionally, feel the emotions without judging ourselves and not looping in story mode, as I call it. Physically, relax the body so that you can breathe. That's all you got to do physically. Look, there are things to do. Resuming physical activity. I've got 6 steps to resuming activity. Search YouTube, pain-free you, the number 6, and you will find that video. But it's a concept where you can visualize a good outcome of what you'd like to do, gradually ease into it. If symptoms show up, you respond calmly. But when you visualize yourself doing this, you visualize a positive outcome. So that's one way we can physically create safety, is expecting to feel okay. And if you don't, okay. Respond as well as you can, as unbothered as you can. So one of the huge ways you can convey safety, and this is a proactive step that you can do, is choose your response to symptoms. If you are continually responding to symptoms as if something horrible is happening, your brain's going to believe that. And so it is your job, your responsibility to yourself to respond as if you know what's going on, which you do. You've accepted this condition as a mind-body condition, so you've accepted it, and now you are teaching. So one of the biggest ways that you can teach your brain that you're okay is through your response to the symptoms themselves. If you respond like, I know what that is, not worried, and then you shift your attention back to living, your brain will eventually catch on. So mentally, physically, emotionally, how do you respond to symptoms, right? Begin doing more living. If you wait until you feel amazing before you start resuming life, it's not going to work. Resuming activity is part of the solution. And I'm not telling you to torture yourself with 10 out of 10 pain. If you're that high, then of course, be kind to yourself. But start living your life. Assume you're going to be okay. Expect the best. Predict a good outcome. If the symptoms are there, do your best to not care and reassure yourself that I know what's going on. This is all a mindset game. The mind is what's creating the symptoms. The mind is what's going to turn it off. But you've got to get the right mindset that goes, I'm not going to quit. I know what this is. This is absolutely what's going on for me specifically. Not buying into the fear thoughts. I'll allow my emotions so that my brain can learn through exposure that emotions are safe. And relax my body, breathe. And some people say that's extremely beneficial and powerful. If you're in a little bit of a flare-up, some people say it can turn down the symptoms right away. Not off, but can definitely bring you out of that ouch, right? So, physically, respond to symptoms as well as you can, as carefree as you can. Whatever, I know what it is, so I'm not concerned. Shift your attention towards resuming activities, living life. The whole mindset is, holy crap, I'm really not broken. I'm not sick. Holy cow, there's a future for me and I can get better. And I will tell you, after I finally beat the back pain, it struck me just how good it feels to be in a symptom-free body. It's just incredible. Just incredible. And it's possible. And it's not just possible, it's probable. And I like saying this one, it's your turn. These concepts are proven. People are getting better all over the globe just by watching the free stuff, maybe by buying my book. But these concepts are proven. So not only is it possible for you to get better, it's probable and it's predictable. It's a proven system. Follow it. Commit to it. And you can get better too. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Hope everybody's doing great. And as always, folks, we will see you tomorrow. Take care.